We celebrate today the feast of the chair of St. Peter. And this feast is saying to us that first, the Lord is the one who builds his church, and the Lord builds his church not on angels, not on saints, but on weak human beings, on weak individuals whom the Lord invites to be great. When we look at Peter as he is portrayed in the Gospels, we can see in Peter a type of personality that is on the one hand impetuous, that is on the one hand brash, that is on the one hand straightforward, that is on the one hand a person who speaks his mind, a person who runs away at the slightest sign of trouble, a person who will deny the very Lord he professed he would acclaim. But on the other hand, we see a Peter who is repentant. We see a Peter who acknowledges his weakness. We see a Peter who, when the Lord looks at him with unconditional love, is a man who will go and weep bitterly. We see a Peter who, when the Lord asks him whether he loves him, will say unconditionally that he loves his Lord. This is the Peter who is the representative of who the church is. The church is on the one hand a church that is weak, a church that has betrayed its Lord. It is a church that has failed and fallen many times. It is a sinful church. But because it is not a church of angels, because it is not a church of saints, because it is a church of men and women who are invited and challenged by their Lord to rise above their weaknesses and to continue to keep their gaze on Him, it will become a church that, like Peter, is transformed. It will become a church which says to the Lord that it loves the Lord unconditionally. It will become a church that will be the salt of the earth and the light of the world. It will become a church that is built on a hill, which people will see, which people will notice, and which people will be inspired by. In the gospel text of today, we hear what is popularly known as the confession of Peter. The first question which Jesus asks his disciples as they came to the region of Caesarea Philippi, which was named after the Emperor Caesar and Herod Philip, in other words, both political personalities, the Lord asks his disciples this all-important question. The first question is about who people say the Lord is, and the answers are John the Baptist, Elijah, Jeremiah, and one of the prophets. Then the Lord turns to his disciples and asks every one of them and emphatically about their response to him. But you, who do you say that I am? In the Gospel of Matthew, like in the other two as well, Mark and Luke, it is Peter who responds, but in Matthew the words of Peter are, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." In other words, Peter does not stop as he does in the Gospel of Mark by simply saying that Jesus is the anointed one. He goes on further to tell Jesus that he is indeed the Son of God. Jesus recognizes that Peter's answer stems from a revelation made to him and responds to Peter by saying that even though Jesus will continue to be the builder, Peter, weak as he is, fragile as he is, sinful as he is, will be that foundation on which the Lord's ecclesia, on which the Lord's church will be built. Today, over 2,000 years later, we are still coming to terms with the promise that the Lord keeps making. The Lord continues to build His church, continues to build His ecclesia, this contrast community which stands out by the kind of people that are in it. The Lord continues to be the builder. However, the Lord will continue to build on us, weak individuals, fragile individuals, sinners, all of us, and yet invited by the Lord, like Peter was invited to rise up above our sin, to rise up above our weaknesses and our failings, and to aspire to become like the Lord Himself was, and like the Lord wants us to be, the salt of the earth, the light of the world, that city on a hill which cannot be hid. Will my words, will my actions reveal that I am part of this church of the Lord, which builds up, which loves, and which enhances all the time? A very happy feast of the chair of St. Peter to everyone.